to some people, a building moving down a highway is nothing at all. But it's a historical event today, March the 29th, 1985 in Muleshoe, because the Santa Fe Depot, which stood at the end of Main Street since the early 1920s, was moved to this site out at the western edge of Muleshoe. I guess it was about 21 blocks. What do you think, kids, that it moved? Is that what you'd say? 20? Do we all agree? About 21 blocks. And it took about actually 3 hours. They started the moving just about 9 o'clock this morning, and by shortly after 11, well, the building was on this site. And do you think it'll stay here for always? What do you think, Jean Allison?
I think it will. We certainly do hope so, that we preserve this for history.
Right. This is a group of Muleshoe High School students who have gathered together this afternoon to come look at the building and think about what they have done as members of the Student Community Activity Committee. And they've done a lot, haven't they, Jean?
Yes, this is a Student Community Action Club that was organized as a result of some students 3 years ago wanting to save the Muleshoe Depot. This early group came to me and asked if I would help them save the Muleshoe Depot. And the first year, we were not a club. The next year, we organized the Student Community Action Club. And this is the third year of students that have tried to save the depot. And these groups of students have had car washes. This year, this group put on a dinner and donated at one time $850 for this fund. They are a member of the Muleshoe Heritage Foundation board, the nonprofit organization that had to be organized to move this depot, and they have discovered as students that Rome is not built in a day, that it takes, and they have gotten discouraged at times, but they never would give up that we could save the depot.
Well, it looks like it is really saved. It's really here. It's saved intact. Well, there's part of it missing. The platform should be right here. Maybe we lost a little bit. Tell us your name.
Zonell Gatewood.
And so now, are you an officer in this club?
Yes, I am.
And what office do you hold?
Treasurer.
Treasurer. And you've been to several of the board meetings for the Muleshoe Heritage Foundation, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And your parents are whom?
JC and Zona Gatewood.
And you're classified how at Muleshoe High?
A senior.
You're a senior. Jean, are they all seniors? No. Juniors and seniors.
We have juniors and seniors.
Okay.
This is an ongoing. The first group that when they left and they saw that the depot was not going to be saved in their time, said we've got to recruit some juniors. So each year we bring in new members. This group, now some of these are juniors and they'll be the nucleus of the leaders for next year. And then we will choose some more juniors and sophomores that will be juniors and seniors next year.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so now you want to scoot over on this side, and Trish, now you're a senior?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how do you choose juniors or this year's sophomores who are going to move up to be members of, what is it called, SCAT? Is that right?
Yeah, SCAC.
SAC. Or what?
SCAC.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Well, last year we gave them little forms out and just let them explain what their feelings were on the club, and then we went through those forms and selected the people.
Why did you want to be a member of this organization?
Well, I wanted to help Muleshoe and preserve a little bit of history of Muleshoe.
Good, that's a good, Trish Burgess, right?
Yes.
Okay, now your name?
Betsy Lunsford.
It seems like we talk to the same ones over and over. I think I've seen you girls before this week, right?
Yes.
Okay, Betsy, and you're a senior, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and your parents?
Robert and Frankie Lunsford.
And you're going to graduate, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
And how do you feel about this day? You were the one who saw it coming down the highway, right?
Yes, I saw it coming down the highway. It was really, it was a thrill to see it just going down the highway. It really shocked me at first to see it, how big it was. I didn't realize how big it was. And it was really, it's a great day in Muleshoe.
Thank you, Betsy. Hi there. Your name is what?
Christy Heathington.
And Christy, when you think about, say, in 50 years, and you come back to Muleshoe, maybe you are, let's say, a dental hygienist in New York City, what are you going to tell your children about this building?
that we put a lot of hard work into moving it, and that it should be held sacred because it has taken a lot of hard work to get it out here, and it is a part of Muleshoe that should be preserved and be considered a great part of history for Muleshoe.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, John Gully, you must have some deep feelings about today, because I think you got in on the ground floor right down underneath there, didn't you, on this project?
Well, it seems that way. You know, it's been a long time since we first received notice that the railroad intended to close the depot and to dismantle it, really.
What year, John?
It's been, let's see, it must have been, I think it must have been either late 81 or early 82 when they first decided that they were going to go to an automated system with the railroad and they wouldn't have the need for the depot any longer.
And now we're to 85.
Yes, it's taken a long time. Of course, the railroad originally, the Railroad Commission only closed the depot for a year on a trial basis to see if their new system of routing trains was going to work. And then, so the railroad was kind of reserving the depot for a while. And then, I don't suppose people realize all the things that are involved in trying to, it's easy to say, why don't we just pick it up and move it and get it over with? But when you start trying to deal with insurance and movers and liability volunteers and when you have time to, could you possibly type things, it really does take a long time, but we're sure glad that it finally happened.
I was told Wednesday night that the president of the Muleshoe Heritage Foundation, Ruth Hall, was told we have to have $600 on our desk or it doesn't get moved by the telephone company just lifting up the lines, and the money had to be in Brownfield before today, and that meant somebody had to make a trip over there at the last minute. We didn't realize the money had to be there, you know, on their desk before they came over here and did their part.
Well, you know, and I know that there are a lot of things like that that can happen. It's kind of Murphy's Law. If something can go wrong, it usually does, and it seems like that if it didn't go wrong, at least it went slow.
It
so
sure did.
it finally got moved, and we're real glad to see it.
There's a lot more that has to be done. We're talking about it's here. Well, it is here, but there's a lot more that has to be done, right, John?
Right. We're certainly pleased that it's not going to be destroyed, but now then we have to see to it that it's put back into good condition and put to good uses for the community.
Right, and you've really helped on this project, and I want to thank you for your interest in it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And John, you're a sponsor with Gene Ellison for this group.
Yes.
Right? And you teach what at Muleshoe High School?
Spanish and French.
And what are you going to do tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow is the District 1 Act Play Contest, and I'm the director of that, and certainly want to invite everyone to be out. The plays start at 1:30, so if anyone can come and see the plays, we'll be glad to have them.
And Muleshoe's play will be at approximately what time?
The play will be 4th, and
3:45.
yes. I couldn't remember. I'm sure glad you remember. It's better than mine.
Okay. And they really need to be in their seat before time, don't they?
Yes. Of course, the times are approximate. We never know for sure how long a play will last, so it's better to be early because if you're late, you cannot go into the auditorium after it's started.
It's really important for the people of Muleshoe to support their young people, like at the band concert or at the play, isn't it?
It really is, and Muleshoe's really always been a very good community about that. I think they give support as well as any community that I know of, and we certainly do appreciate it, and I know the young people do too.
Good. Thank you, John, for talking to us. Now, your name?
Julie Sanders.
Julie Sanders. And Julie, how are you classified?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior this year, and who are your parents?
Brock and Peggy Sanders.
And how do you feel about the Santa Fe Depot? Do you have any deep feelings, or is it just a building?
Well, no, I think it's pretty neat. I think it means a lot to Muleshoe. It's, like everybody said, it stands as a historical marker. And I think since we're going to be the further adults living in this community, I think it'll be nice to say that we had a part in doing it. So I think it's pretty neat.
You know, and I think also it should inspire adults to get out and help too, to see all these young people before they freeze to death. It's very appropriate that the wind is blowing and we've got some dust in the air today. Your name?
Sherry Stovall.
Sherry Stovall. And Sherry, have you ever ridden a train?
No, ma'am.
Never ridden? Any of you kids ridden a train? Nobody's ridden a train. Would you like to ride a train?
Yeah, pretty neat.
That it's an experience. It's fun. Yeah. It's real jiggly. Sherry, you're a senior, did you say?
Junior.
A junior. And after you graduate from Muleshoe High School next year, what do you plan to do?
Go to Texas Tech, and I haven't really decided what I'm going to major in yet.
And your parents?
David and Nancy Stovall.
Okay, thank you very much. And the young gentleman is who?
Chris Hernandez.
Now, Chris, were you our member of the Muleshoe High School band that we heard there on the solo?
Yes, ma'am, but I didn't play the solo, it was someone else.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No, ma'am, it was Greg Garcia.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what do you play?
I play the tuba.
But you play the tuba. Okay. And you weren't sitting on the end?
Yeah, I was sitting on the end, but it wasn't me playing the solo.
Well, it looked like it, didn't it, Joella? We thought that was you. That was a great performance this week. I know the band was really excited.
Thank you. Yes, we put in a lot of hard work into it, but we finally did it after 12 years. I think it's been 12 years.
It's been 12 years since Muleshoe had sweepstakes.
Yes, ma'am, 12 years, I think.
That's right. Mr. Gibson was a little bit excited, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. We had fun. We put in a lot of work, so I guess it paid off.
Now, how are you classified?
I'm a senior.
Well, that was nice that the sweepstakes band came your senior year, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
That was really good. Well, now, after you graduate, what are you going to do?
I plan to enlist into the Marines and make it a career.
Go around the world.
Yes, ma'am.
You can get an education, too, a good one that way, can't you?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
And your parents are whom?
Mickey and Lala Hernandez.
And what does your dad do?
He's a barber.
He's a barber. Does mother work?
No, ma'am, she's a housewife.
Oh, she works hard. Okay, thank you, Chris. Her name.
Thank you, ma'am.
I like to call this the pretty side of the depot. I'm so glad they put this out on the front, the ticket side of the depot, so we could see it from the front. And I'm delighted to see that along West American Boulevard that you can see the depot building sitting over here. And I can just imagine right over here to our left the James Ranch House sitting there, the tall, I call it sometimes 3-story or 4-story. If I get just really enthused, it'll be 5-story before you know it. But it'll certainly be able to be seen if this building can from the highway. And we hope that people will stop here in Muleshoe and enjoy the beauty of this historic site. And what is your name?
Tamara Bean.
Tamara, you're a member of this Community Action Club too, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're classified as how?
A senior.
You're a senior, and your parents are whom?
Mike and Shirley Bean.
And where do you live? In town or out in the country?
I live out south of town.
Out south, Needmore way.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
a Bean from Needmore?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what are you going to do after you graduate?
I'm going to go to South Plains and enter in their nursing school there.
You're going to nursing school, and then do you hope to come back to Muleshoe or what?
Yeah. Like to see what happens with, like, we're going to move the James Ranch out here and everything.
Yeah, and they'll need a lot of help from nurses and doctors and lawyers and carpenters and plumbers. Everybody will be needed, and there's a lot of work going to have to be done on this building too. What do you think it'll look like inside when it's finished?
Well, hopefully it'll look like it did back in the days when they used it a lot. Maybe lots of antiques and stuff like that.
It'll be fun to look. It doesn't look too great inside right now. Did you look in there?
Yeah.
It's sort of dirty.
It's got a lot of trash and stuff right now, but maybe we'll get it cleaned up pretty soon.
Right. You have to put on your working gloves and everything. Maybe you're glad you're a senior.
Yeah.
Maybe you got in on the easy work. Okay, let's talk to your friend here. What's your name?
Vanna Pruitt.
And Vanna, another one's been talked to this week. They all, I guess the doers keep doing. Is that right?
It seems to be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, where are you going in track? Any place during the Easter holidays?
During Easter, we're going to Dimmitt.
To Dimmitt. And when is that?
Not tomorrow, but next Saturday.
A week from then, about April the 7th or 6th. Does that sound right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And who are your parents?
Jewel and Ogling Pruitt.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I got one brother, David.
One brother, David. Do you have any grandparents who live here?
Helen Pruitt.
So, really, this is a Pruitt town, right? And Pruitt's here for a while then.
Yeah.
Were you born here?
No, but I've lived here all my life.
All your life. Went to high school here always. And you're going to graduate from Muleshoe High School this year.
Yes.
Can you think of some of the kids that you started to school with here, maybe in kindergarten?
Well, there's still a lot of them that are, and still in my class now.
Who can you think?
Well, no, right now.
No, now, but there's some that have been here always. Well, it's nice that in a town like this that people can band together, young people and older people and middle-aged people, and get a band together to really put effort out and move the Santa Fe Depot, don't you think?
Mhm.
As a teenager, how do you feel about that, being a part of it, Vanna?
I think it'll be interesting because, years from now when they come back and think, this place is full of nice historical buildings, I'll say, well, I started that, I think that'll be neat.
That's something you can say with pride, too.
Yeah.
Look around out here at the weeds today. However, this looks really nice. It really shouldn't be changed too very much because of the natural grass and everything. And the reason I say that, I don't want to be out here planting flowers and keeping it up. No, it really will be nice, I think, to leave it sort of natural. And what's your name?
Brett King.
And Brett, how are you classified?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. So you'll be here next year and this summer and on to maybe scrub some of these walls down.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you think that this building could be used for?
Oh, just to teach the kids of future generations what things we had back in where the old days when you had to run trains instead of planes and stuff. Make them appreciate it more.
That's a good thought. Appreciate it more. Appreciate what you have by looking of where we have come from. And if we don't preserve some of that, we don't know where we came from. Now, Brett, who are your parents?
Max and Pat King.
Thank you for talking with us. And also, Jean, Allison, thank you for inviting us to come out and meet with your students today around this Santa Fe Depot building on really a historical day.
It's really a historical day, Megan, and we thank you for interviewing us. And I did want to include the president, the vice president, the secretary, and our historian, because our president, Preston Scoggin, has attended the meetings over and over of the Muleshoe Heritage Foundation. He was very helpful. We put on a big dinner earlier and donated all the money for this, like I said. And our vice president, John Isaac, has worked hard. Our secretary, Christy Campbell, our historian, Shelley McMeans. It just happens that all of them are occupied with track, golf, and so forth. But I did want to include them since they have worked so hard on this to make this historic day something to remember. And we really appreciate you including us.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And we're so glad that we have young people in Muleshoe who are interested in preserving our past.